Ah. Inazuma, got it.
This realm is...
No levels. Darn. Terrible, the worst.
If you ever have...
Uh-huh. Okay. Start with that one then. Hello. Welcome. Doing all right? Yeah, let's
get to work.
May knowledge guide you.
Start with the good old daily quests.
Shine down!
One strike will suffice.
There is no escape!
You win.
Oh, well, okay.
Battle.
As for how my day's going, so far, so far. You know? Can't complain. I hate defending balloons. Some
Ready for
distance.
trial?
Yes.
And some burning, I suppose.
Osman.
Oh, you're going that way.
Stabilize.
Illusion shattered!
Hey, sure, I'm pretty close, so.
Another test. Gather.
There is no escape!
beasties.
Order
No.
got
Here you are.
Bastard. Blocked me.
Deflect.
Illusion shattered.
There we go. Lightly toasted.
Shine down. Time for your arraignment.
Hello. Welcome, welcome. I need an animo character for this. Yeah.
What do you want from me?
Oh, with that dork. Actually hit the fog, please. Actually hit the fog, please.
Swallow Fury. Quit following me.
Second, let me.
Astra ab.
Again.
Add Astra. Thank you for completing.
Oh, I should have switched to the team I'm trying to get friendship with. Dang. That's on me.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
Everyone's so chatty.
Error.
The same mistakes over.
Hey, cooking. May as well get as much done on the battle pass as possible, even though I'm not on the paid battle pass. Croissants. Right. Ooh, I need more flour. Means I also need more wheat. I think I need more. Yeah. So before I cook, I'm going to do a little prep work. Apparently. Salt is also helpful.
Too slow.
Been a while, but I may as well. I have a slip. Awesome. Samara. I have coffee. Then we hit Fontaine.
Quit following me.
Maybe get coffee from the cafe. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm usually wrong, honestly. When I'm like, oh yeah, this is where you get that thing, and then nope. Excellent. I am correct about coffee.
following me.
Ooh. Recipe. Fruit, eggs, milk, sugar. Sure. Okay, no one has a... Oh, whoop. All right. Right. Foraging.
Looks like no more free coffee.
I'm just getting set up for like weekly stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stand on your table. Alright. Bosses first or the story quest first? Decisions, decisions. Yeah, bosses. Might as well get it out of the way. And then, you know, continue the weeklies, do bounties and requests. Alright.
I'll treat your wounds.
Oh, I should have... well, too late. Should have made some potions. But I did not. Fun fact, the first time I fought her, these saved my ass. Because I did not have a healer. And there.
Afraid?
I will have order.
Do you not even have the courage to be afraid? Is it my turn now?
The process of elimination.
Now that's more like it. Is it my turn now? Closer now. With the fall of darkness, destruction shall rise.
Mind the side effects.
Have a taste of purgatory.
Solidify.
Taking a turn for the better.
There is no escape. Is it my turn now?
Whoop, whoop.
Spare your energy. Running is of little use.
Order guide you.
Running is of little use. All I have done.
Stabilize.
Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all.
I am the most worthy opponent. I think my auto mod is off. Good thing if I do that. One moment. Hold on. How did that get through? Oh, okay. Excuse me. Oh, there's an accent on the H. Okay. Sorry about that. Auto mode only catches so much.
Solidify.
Seared away. My blade is all that remains.
Here you are.
side effects. Remember,
Your
health comes
punishment
first.
made manifest.
The process of elimination.
Oh,
The sun and
I
moon
forgot
have
she
set.
did that.
Only ruin remains.
Gather.
All hope has been extinguished.
This is order.
Illusion shattered.
Here you are.
Sundown is only the beginning.
Yeah.
Solidify.
Oh. Oh. Okay, I was not expecting victory there. Meh. Also meh. Got a catalyst billet though. Oof. Take 3 million years to load, because of course it is. Always does. Always, always. Alright, narwhal time. Good old friend the narwhal.
Yeah, I'll do my best, but I can't guarantee a victory.
I'll take the lead today.
Do I have to stop? No? Okay, we're good. There. Hello, narwhal. Although that's going to take 3 million years to load. Because of course. When does it not? When I'm not streaming.
Stabilize.
There is no escape.
Hurry up on the attack stuff. I don't need to do the healing. Some shrimp crackers. The main problem is it's underwater most of the time.
Stabilize.
Illusion shattered. Super Senda. Come away with us.
Solidify.
Shine down.
Oh. Okay.
Illusion shattered. Hey there.
Nom.
Stabilize.
What now?
Watch out.
Solidify. Order guide.
Shine down. Now you shall perish. Fire!
Oh, well.
Illusion shattered.
Time to stabilize.
There is no escape. Hey there. Nah. Aha. Ha. Nah. Hiya. Nah. That's not. Coming at you.
I will have order.
Oh, well. Okay.
Fire! Illusion shattered. Watch out! Aha! Ha! Hey there! Shine down, torn to oblivion.
Solidify. Stabilize. Order guide. Solidify.
It's going all right.
Proper send-off from the seat of the club.
Stabilize.
Narwhal's being a nuisance, but you know, what can you do?
Now.
Oh, that's why my attacks aren't doing much. My snacks wore off. Main objective at the moment is beat this whale up. back here. There we go. Hey. That took longer than it should have. Next question, what for the last boss of the week? Of 3. Yeah, I haven't beat up the riding in a while. Thank you. Oh, I read the sign. I didn't talk to the person. Oh. So I should bring a healer if I'm gonna... As you will do for a healer. Yeah, I could use Yanfei as the DPS. Hey! Thanks for that. Alright. So I want Zhongli, and I want her. Yanfei will work as a DPS. And I already said bye, she's the
I
healer.
charge a higher rate to meet outside the office.
I'll treat your wounds.
I'll treat your wounds. Yeah? Obviously my Wednesday streams get a little more attention, being a more structured game, but yeah, okay.
Every journey has its final day.
Oh, I should have healed first.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Taking a turn for
This
the
world,
better.
a fleeting shadow.
Incinerate! Ha! Ha! Chia!
Shine down.
Solidify!
The doctor was seen. Baboom! Ha!
Illusions of destructions.
Chia! Chia! Chia!
Shattered.
Ha!
There is no escape.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Thunder.
Alright, now she can be.
This body is eternal.
Stabilize!
Illusion shattered.
Pain in the. Ow, 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 ow.
Solidify!
Remember, health comes first.
This is order!
Witness the final calamity. Shine down.
Alright, that cut it close.
Stabilize!
Perish.
I will not perish, thank you. I will instead light you on fire.
Follows my blade.
Quake!
Mind the side effects.
Eternity is in my hand.
Solidify!
Oh yeah, this is the.
Gather!
Purge all obstacles.
The doctor was seen. Eliminate! Incinerate!
I will have order!
Taking a turn for the better.
Illusion shattered. Inazuma shines eternal.
Obviously, this also goes faster when you have more people.
Be gone. There is no absurd. The eye sweeps the land.
Solidify! Order guide you!
This ends now. Absurd.
Your raiment!
Lightning falls on the land of eternity.
Stabilize!
Illusion shattered. Now you shall perish. This body is eternal. Inferior.
Seems like an emergency. A bitter pill to
There is
swallow.
no escape.
There is so much escape.
Motion to compel!
Inferior. Witness
Solidify!
the final calamity. There is no escape.
Yeah.
Gather!
Illusion shattered. Perish.
How about you perish? You have like a sliver of health. Please die. Woo. Of course it's a defense artifact. Why would it not be a defense artifact? Who needs artifacts that aren't defense artifacts? I mean, come on. They're obviously the best. In case that wasn't obvious, heavy sarcasm. Grab my processed ingredients. Why is my resin so low? I just did bosses. Brain. Okay, I'm good on steak. Doing those in Mondstadt because I know where all the things are in Mondstadt.
This had better be important.
When you're high up, everyone can
Rises.
Hello. I think I can part with 10 sweet flowers. Sure.
Quit following me.
Howdy. I need to pick more of those. Apparently. Alright, let's see the bounties in Liyue. Not that I'm a huge fan of the bounties that require elemental sight. But howdy. Bounties. Vulnerable to pyro electro resistance decreased. Okay. Now you can sort of spread electro.
Who's our next target?
Solidify! Behold!
I mainly don't like the elemental sight ones because I can't get the mouse shortcut to work.
Swan Fury.
So, gotta play around with alt and oh, I've entirely lost where. I know. In a fight.
Gather!
Shine down!
Wind rises.
go have a rock.
Illusion shattered.
Swarm Fury.
Inazuma shines eternal. There is no escape.
The wind rises.
Know your place.
I will have order. Solidify. Through me, justice is served. Guilty.
Alright. That's that. Oh, tasks handed out. No. Let's go to Inazuma. See what they got. Vulnerable to cryo, but paralysis will last longer. Okay. I can trade Sino out for a heavier hitter.
How long will this require exactly?
I charge a higher rate to meet outside.
Stabilize.
Illusion shattered.
Motion to compel.
There we go. Not that hard to deal with. I mean, I'll be glad when this isn't part of the battle pass anymore. Kind of a pain. Yeah. Plunging attacks. Don't have anyone specifically built for that, so. I mean, I could, because I do have Zhanyan. I think. Cloud retainer. We'll just stick with that. Vulnerable to electro, but increased damage. Oh! I have Arle. I have Father. I could use Father. Listen, I could make a full squad of pole arms. Favorite weapon.
An insurmountable problem, I presume.
Bounty, actually.
Order guide.
Time to go to work.
Overruled.
Now you're testing my patience. Gotcha. We'll meet again.
That's that dealt with. Now the story quest. Since I keep putting it off. Oh! Well, that's convenient. I was not expecting it to be in Port Ormos. Tainari, hi!
I thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film.
I just... Boop.
You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus. If Sanjay does this again, the loss will have to come out of his food expenses.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much longer.
Hey, Tainari!
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
To jam and music.
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by. But, what's with all the flowers around here?
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition featuring
Sumeru,
flowers
what do you
and
expect
plants
in
from all over
Sumeru?
Teyvat. So I came to help out. The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. With that in mind, the curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar capable of retaining heat and moisture. Even so, an expert is still required to develop tailored transportation and care plans for each type of flower.
Makes sense.
And that expert is you, right?
Not this time, no. I'm just here to help out.
Oh.
The expert in charge is someone else.
Mr. Tainari! Sanjay! He confused the poisonous bulbs with garlic shoots, and he ate them!
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses. Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of. I'll be back in just a moment.
Have fun with that.
Tighnari's busy no matter where he is, huh?
Careless
Yeah,
about what
seems
they
like
eat.
it. Hey, don't look at Paimon like that. Paimon is super careful about what she eats. Well, looks like Tighnari might be busy for a while. Let's take a look around the port in the meantime.
Floral debt. Blood dew. Ooh, spooky. Spooky sounding.
Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
So floral.
Huh?
Hello. You alright?
Paimon's... fine. She's just got a little...
So Paimon has allergies. This is new.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
It's getting worse. Why?
Well, should we go find Tighnari?
But, I was fine just a moment ago.
Oh wow,
She
you're
didn't even
stuffy.
eat anything weird.
Gosh.
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, the scent is so nice. Wait! Whoa, that was fast. Paimon doesn't have to sneak.
Must have been the
Think
incense.
nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either. Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition too?
Wow, they are just really...
I suppose that's accurate. Ah, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emilie, a perfumer from Fontaine.
Paimon is Paimon. Thank you so much for your help just now. Oh, and this is...
The Traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
What happened back there? Why did Paimon start sneezing all of a sudden?
Have you ever heard of hay fever? To put it simply, when inhaled, certain pollens can trigger abnormal physical reactions.
well, I said
I've seen
allergies.
these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird
Close
happened
enough.
then.
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens may seem minimal, but inhaling various types at once can trigger a more overt reaction. But there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Is everything all right?
Paimon just found
I
out
left
she
in
has
such a hurry, I
allergies.
forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air.
Emily helped us
Emily?
out.
Ah, what a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then. The Traveler and Paimon are in good hands.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I offered them a bit of help, that's all. I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable. If you were concerned the pollen might trigger a reaction, that must mean something similar has happened in the past.
Something like that.
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal. It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there, caused by a variety of different factors. Some people are even allergic to almonds. It's not something you can generalize.
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic reaction to soba noodles their family brought back from Inazuma.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic to anything delicious.
She's a perfumer, but...
In a manner of speaking, although you could say the patients I deal with are rather unusual.
In addition to medicine, Emilie is also very knowledgeable about botany. She's taught me a lot about the native flora around Fontaine.
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tainari certainly comes out on top.
A flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You must be the expert Tainari mentioned, the one in charge of the exhibition!
Thank you for cutting off their compliment loop.
Wrong again, I'm afraid.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the Auguste variety. I'm not involved in any official capacity.
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it right this time.
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine. The perfume made from it also bears the same name, Auguste.
Auguste, huh? That's not a name you hear often nowadays.
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred or noble. It's sometimes used as a name for people as well. Ah, that reminds me. Are you familiar with a historical event in Fontaine known as Perfume Mania?
No. Not at all.
Mania was an event that occurred in Fontaine nearly 20 years ago. It all started when several merchants released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products, the very symbol of elegance itself. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to skyrocket. The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. You could take advantage of the soaring price by hoarding them and reselling at even higher margins.
Oh, so it's
The
tulip
value of
mania,
these
but
products
perfume.
became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were even going for hundreds of thousands of mora. This resulted in countless disputes and scams. But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the intrinsic worth of the product, creating an economic bubble that was never going to last. Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could truly spread. Many profiteers and scammers were thrown in jail as a result. In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble popped.
Could have been a lot worse.
What does all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned earlier?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million mora a bottle.
That's a fair chunk.
Then what about now?
Well, the bubble burst. It's not nearly that valuable now.
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only exception. Its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made. Indeed, the Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume making.
Okay.
When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been seen since.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reappeared in Sumeru. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
It would.
Traveler, we should help Emilie look for it.
There's no way it's going to be that easy
I
to
have
find.
to agree. Emilie wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor, but the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species recently.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon. I don't have any grand mora making endeavors planned. Divine, noble, one of a kind, all beautiful sentiments to be sure, but to me, they overshadow the very essence of the product. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige and focus on the beauty of the fragrance itself.
Wow, so noble.
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. In recent years, low-grade counterfeit versions of Auguste have been popping up on the Fontaine perfume market.
Oh
Every
no.
so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will start comparing the counterfeits to my own work.
Okay, that's more like the reason Paimon had in mind.
Ever since that rumor started, 3 new perfumes claiming to be made from the Auguste flower have appeared on the market. If
Yeesh.
I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding Auguste, even just by proving the rumor to be false, Fontaine's perfume market can finally start to get back to normal.
Very
Then
important.
I'll be free from all the stories and added meaning and just focus on making what I like.
That makes sense.
Either way, even if it's not for Mora, we could still help you
I
out.
would of course be grateful for your help, but
I just
wouldn't
realized I
want
was
to tell
covering the dialogue options with my face.
Well, you said it yourself. We're both travelers from abroad, so it's only right that we help each other out.
It's not a big deal.
I suppose you're right. Then you have my thanks.
Based on the information I have so far, it's unclear if the rumor is true. Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say. But you could always go talk to him. He was there all those years ago, after all. Maybe he'll know something.
I was just about to pay him a visit at the hotel.
Edgar? Who's that?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. The flower expert in charge of the exhibition. He's also the most respected and experienced perfumer in the area. Back when he was still working in Fontaine, Auguste was his creation.
I should also mention, he was my teacher, the one who taught me the basics of perfumery when I apprenticed in Sumeru.
In other words, he'll probably be concerned about the counterfeit Auguste on the market.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Sumeru to teach people from Fontaine? It sounds confusing.
What are you sniffing? Oh, it's the foodies. I was not expecting them to be here. The box probably isn't supposed to be here when you're doing the quest. It's just arms. Hehe. Alright, I have that quest.
It's a
Then,
long story.
I suppose.
If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
Oh, okay, so that's still within Port Ormos. I knew it. Hey, look, more flowers.
Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings, They're being used as temporary storage facilities and lodging for exhibition personnel.
Yeah, what if guests come
Seems a
early?
bit
They
excessive.
won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that Mora back?
Seems like they might have Mora to burn. I'm reading out the dialogue options because my face is like half in front of them.
It's been so long, I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't changed a bit.
Oh, yeah, all this catching up is nice and all, but let's get down to business. We need to talk about Kyria. Is he...
Hold on, we have guests.
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emilie? Is that you? Oh, it's been years. Look at you. You're all grown up. I've heard you've become quite the famous perfumer in Fontaine. It would seem the student has surpassed the master.
Oh, well, it's all thanks to your mentorship.
Ah, hardly. I taught you the basics. Hearing you call me master, well, I'm not sure I'm deserving of that title. I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years, but I've yet to see one turn out quite as accomplished as you. You're the only one who can take credit
compliment
for that
loops.
success. And who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning them in your letter.
Ah, they're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Hi. Pleasure to meet you.
Emilie's friends. Well then, the pleasure is all mine.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends of yours, Master?
Oh, don't you comfort me.
Of course. We're perfume merchants from
Oh,
Fontaine.
that's a bad cover. That's a bad
I'm
cover.
Ood, and this here is my younger brother, Blaze. Edgar and the two of us are old friends. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Yes.
Perfumers from Fontaine, bad cover.
Brothers?
You must be here to look for the August flower then.
Paimon. Better keep your mouth shut about that.
Well, what respectable perfume merchant hasn't heard of a Ghost? Anyone in the business would be interested in the rumors.
Don't use that tone.
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emilie. We were just about to get into it, so you three might as well join in.
Sounds fair.
I commissioned a few Eremites to do some scouting for me. They searched all over Sumeru, but there were no sightings of the August flower. That being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled a unique fragrance on the streets. Definitely floral, but still distinct. Some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago. According to them, the fragrance smelled exactly like the August they remember from back then.
Ooh, funky.
A one-of-a-kind, divine, and noble scent.
Maybe someone around here just happens to have a bottle of August from back then.
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Even if someone had a bottle that was never opened, the fragrance of the perfume would have changed over time. Very few perfumes can go decades without a change in scent. Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shift. Only a few bottles still exist in Fontaine, and their scent would have completely degraded by now. Although, could there be a flower out there with a similar fragrance? Or in accord with the same base notes?
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would never have sold for such a high price all those years ago. The Auguste flower is back. It has to be.
I don't think it is.
Speaking, the scent wouldn't be impossible to imitate.
Well, let's table that question for now. Edgar, did any of those people mention where the scent was coming from?
I have a feeling
No.
those two have a
By the time
get-rich-quick
they realized they
scheme.
had smelled something, the scent was already gone. If I hadn't asked about it, they probably wouldn't have given the experience a second thought.
Those two
Compared
have
to
a
things
get-rich-quick.
we see and hear,
Probably.
smells can be much easier to overlook.
It almost sounds like someone wearing the Auguste fragrance passed them on the street.
Wait, are you saying...
Just thinking out loud. Don't pay me any mind.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule out that possibility. I'll send some more people to investigate. You all traveled so far to be here. Why don't you rest in the hotel for a bit? Oud, Blaze, this is the key to your room.
Yeah, those feel like fake names.
Ooh, you've got the keys to the rooms? Do we get free lodging too?
My apologies. All the rooms in the hotel are accounted for, I'm afraid. Most are being used for storage ahead of the exhibition, you see. I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the last minute, but by the time Emilie wrote to me, there was no more space left for her to stay.
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue. Guess that means there's definitely no space for us.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an entire hotel at my disposal and no place to offer you to stay, even after you made the trip all the way to Sumeru.
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight, or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to collect some plant specimens while I'm here in Sumeru.
I'm familiar with the Sumeru wilderness.
Ah, even
I'll come
better.
with.
Although, would it be possible for me to leave some of my luggage here? It would be rather cumbersome to take it camping. It shouldn't take up too much space.
Well, about that.
Seems like Edgar's and the other... Edgar's? Why did I pluralize this man?
No trouble at all.
Seems like Edgar and the others don't want anyone to stay near the hotel, but they're also trying not to arouse suspicion. I'm not just imagining things, am I?
All right then. Oud, why don't you take Emilie inside and find a suitable place for her luggage?
Like I said, I think
I'll
there is a
prepare some
scheme afoot.
refreshments and join you in a bit.
There is a scheme afoot. I can sense it.
Boats are made for transferring commodities back and forth, and those that come across here.
I might even be able to pop the last 5 levels on the battle pass. Not that that means anything, because I'm on free.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Didn't Edgar say he tidied up around here? There's still so many flowers. Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition is gonna be huge.
Do all perfumers have houses filled with flowers?
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants, but to maintain a sharp sense of smell, most perfumers prefer to keep their homes free of strong odors.
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
How about this?
This room seems to be a connected suite, and my brother will be staying on the other side of the suite. Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luggage over as well?
Dun, 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 dun.
Blaze!
Yes, of course.
He
All right,
completely
then.
zoned.
Where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle? Blaze will go fetch it for you.
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine. Could I trouble you to bring that back as well? It would be the perfect way to repay you for your hospitality.
How generous. I should thank you on my brother's behalf. You stumbled upon his weakness. He's aloof about most things, but alcohol is his one true love.
Oh, are
Is
you
that
originally
so?
from Mondstadt or something?
Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze, thanks for...
Hey! What are you doing?
Oh no! He's being attacked!
That's Master's voice.
Let's go see what's going on. Quickly! Well, as quickly as the loading screen lets me. As you rush out of the hotel, you detect a unique
Edgar!
fragrance.
Master!
Hey, Edgar! Are you alright? Can you hear me?
Who did this?
Kyria. August.
It's truly a Fontanian story quest.
Kyria.
Hey, Edgar? Edgar!
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can...
We'll investigate.
Oh, thank you.
We got it. We are prime Fontanian detectives.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle?
Only a small amount of liquid is left inside the bottle, and streaks of residue can be seen on both the mouth and sides of the vessel. It seems like someone poured out whatever was inside. Forcibly poured out whatever was inside the bottle. Okay. I have a feeling
Really? You
the
think
liquid
so?
inside this bottle is probably a perfume of some kind, because that looks like a perfume bottle. Let me just sneak inside. The soil seems to have been disturbed recently. Oh, okay, so there was nothing inside. I misjudged a little bit. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You guys obviously have.
I checked. It doesn't look like anyone passed through here.
Oh, but that's impossible. It's not like that kid can just grow some wing. Oh,
That kid?
The culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just disappeared into thin air.
You're right about that. Flower beds.
Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before they attacked Edgar?
Potential. There are no footprints in the flower beds, and it doesn't look like any of the branches or leaves have been disturbed. Unless the culprit was Paimon-sized, that would be pretty difficult.
True.
We have investigated.
Well, we looked all over, but the only clue we found was that bottle.
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master. Can you help me move him inside?
Absolutely. You and Emilie carefully move Edgar inside.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his nose and mouth. Master was most likely forced to ingest a certain liquid. He's still unconscious,
Whatever
and
was in the
inducing
bottle.
vomiting could obstruct his airways. We'll have to look into... Ah, yes. The scent is the same, but the chemical composition is still unclear. We'll have to do further tests to determine if it's the same liquid and how toxic it is to the human body. But first, I do believe there are two people who could shed some light on the situation. Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
I knew they were
Wait,
fake names.
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle? I'm afraid we'd never heard of those names before.
Oh, yeah.
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste. There were 4 people in total. The perfumer, Edgar, the one thrust into the limelight, and 3 others. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower, and 2 merchant brothers responsible for promoting the product on the market.
I bet the Special Patrol friend was Chevreuse. Willing to bet.
The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. Their actions lured in numerous speculators and profiteers, inflating the price of Auguste even further. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and destabilizing the market. If you do the math, they should be out of prison by now.
And what does that have to do with us? There are countless merchant families in Fontaine. You gonna accuse them of being criminals too?
Yes.
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took you several seconds to respond. But when I called you Lucien just now, the name registered
Instant.
Ah, Miss Emilie, out of respect for your position as a famous perfumer in Fontaine, I'm inclined to believe that was simply a poor attempt at humor. You have a bright future ahead of you. You wouldn't want to develop a reputation as someone who throws around false accusations, especially among merchant circles.
I have a
You
feeling that
claim to be regular
accusation was
perfume
nowhere near
merchants,
false.
and yet, when I brought up amber wine, you took it to be alcohol.
It's a
What?
perfume making thing. Just as I thought.
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. It wasn't particularly renowned, but I'm certain any respectable perfume merchant in Fontaine would know of it.
Boom boom.
Unless, until recently, they were living somewhere completely cut off from the perfume world. Somewhere like...
The Fortress of Meripede.
perhaps?
Ha ha!
Emily, you little.
You were in jail. You didn't know. Let's not commit a violence. Don't even think about it.
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize you. No matter what happened all those years ago, the court has already passed its judgment. But Master's life is in danger. We need to learn whatever we can about the person who has done this. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the 2 of you might also be in danger. So I'd like to trouble you for some information, if I may. Tell me about Kiri.
If I may.
Fine, as you wish.
Sylvain,
Lucien, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. Besides, we've already told most of the stuff to the Maison Orderly anyway. You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Myself, Lucien, Edgar, and a researcher from Sumeru in charge of flower cultivation, Vijava. Sometime down the road, the Marechaussee Phantom came knocking, saddled us with a list of accusations, and started looking into our books. Oh, they did their meddling, and my brother Edgar and I were forced to serve time in the fortress as a result.
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could put those events behind him. Still, Master was depressed for a long time after that. He stopped making new perfumes and focused on introducing students to the craft instead. That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to Sumeru for work when I was a child, so I had the chance to study under him for a little while. But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher, Vijava.
Like us, Vijava was also staring down an investigation from the Marechaussee Phantom. But before the Phantom showed up at her door, she set all the flower beds on fire, along with much of the mora
Arson.
we managed to earn. All the
Yay.
Auguste flowers, everything we worked to create, was reduced to nothing but a pile of ash.
But destroying all that evidence, wouldn't that make things worse for her?
It didn't matter at that point, because she died in the fire as well.
What?
Self-immolation.
Sounds like you did
Arson.
an investigation of your own. Why even ask us if you knew all of this already?
Kiria's name still hasn't come up.
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either. But you two seem quite familiar with him.
Oh, is Kiria like the son of this Viv?
Kiria was Vijava's younger brother.
Oh,
He was just a
younger
clueless
brother,
kid back
not
then.
son.
Somewhere in his teens, I think. He helped his sister with her work sometimes, but that was pretty much it. He didn't have any idea what we were doing. Vijava kept him close most of the time. The three of us were probably the only ones who even knew she had a brother. After our operation was compromised, he disappeared. There were no signs of him until recently, when people started saying the Auguste flower had reappeared in Sumeru.
So, you think Kiria took something with him back then? Something that allowed him to reproduce the Auguste flower?
Vijava doted on the kid like you wouldn't believe. She even told us to give her cut to her brother if anything happened to her. If she left something behind before she died, believe me, Kiria's the one that has it.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate the perfume itself.
Oh.
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste. Wait, does that mean Auguste is poison?
Poison? No. Of course not. No perfume is meant to be ingested. Even small amounts can be dangerous, let alone ingesting a whole bottle at once. If Auguste could be considered a poison, we wouldn't have even sold half a bottle back then. Edgar fell unconscious because Kiria forced him to drink perfume. It just happened
perfume
to
will.
be Auguste.
Strange. Sylvain seems nervous all of a sudden. So now I can ask, why did Kiria attack Edgar?
He probably thought we had something to do with his sister's death. But to tell you the truth, I have no idea why she did all that. We're not looking for Kiria because we have it out for him. We just wanted to see how he was doing. And, if possible, work together to bring back Auguste. We only went to prison for a bit of fraud and market manipulation. It had nothing to do with the product itself.
We only went to prison for fraud. Not a big deal.
As long as we keep things honest this time around, bringing the product back to market would almost be like honoring his sister's memory.
So that's why you never mentioned Kiria during your interrogation?
Yes, exactly. We were just looking out for the kid.
Anyway, that's all we know. If you're looking for information on what's in Auguste, or what to do if you ingest it, there are only two people to ask. Edgar or Kiria himself.
Well, At least we're able to say for certain that the substance Edgar ingested was in fact a goose. That gives us a direction for further testing. Well then, I'd say that was a very enlightening discussion.
Well, glad to hear it. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit. With everything that's happened, there are things that need reconsidering.
Yes, of course.
Like your life choices? Considering we only went to prison for fraud. That shouldn't be an only situation. We only went to jail for fraud. They're still
Actually a forensic cleaner. Once the forensic team and the Marochisei Phantom are done collecting evidence from the scene, I'm in charge of clearing away the final traces my patients leave on the world. In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula, the same tincture used as the base of perfume can also be made into a cleaning agent. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. Those who collect evidence to expose the truth, and those who clean up the smells, bloodstains, and other substances left behind at the scene. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and
Fair
I've
enough.
witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Tainari and the officers at Port Ormos? We should update them on the situation. I'll stay
Will
here
do.
and continue to look after Master. Now that we have a sample of Auguste, I'm hoping further analysis won't be too difficult.
Yep. Oh. Fantastic. Stupid elevator anyway.
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
Explain
What?
everything.
Edgar was attacked.
Yes.
He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people around Port Ormos. How could this happen?
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious individual fleeing through the bazaar?
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'm sure someone's seen Kyria. I'll start gathering my forces. We won't let him get away.
What about you, Tainari? Do you have a plan?
I'm willing to bet yes on Tainari having
I'm
plans.
sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and I doubt Emilie needs my help looking after Mr. Edgar.
But
But she said she's not a real doctor.
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding of human anatomy and pharmacology than most scholars from the Amorta Darshan. Not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is related to perfume. Emilie is certainly in the best position to help him. As for me, I'll head to the academia and see what I can learn about Vijava and Kiria.
Ooh, exciting.
Oh, that's right! Vijava was supposed to be a scholar from Sumeru. Do you recognize the name?
From Emilie's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produces a lot of scholars, and there are plenty of graduates who choose to pursue a career outside their darshan. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like Vijava's past could be critical to getting to the bottom of what happened to Mr. Edgar. I have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. With any luck, we'll have news to share by tomorrow. I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over things here in Port Ormos.
Wait until the next day.
Every journey has its final day. Don't rush.
Ooh. Right, I got an achievement.
Where do you want to go
wait.
next? If you'd like to see Liu
7 to 11. Boop.
Every journey has its final day.
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with Emilie's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first.
Yeah. Stupid elevator. I don't like you.
Emilie!
How's Edgar?
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. He's still very weak, but with a bit more rest, he should regain consciousness soon.
Awesome.
My chemical analysis of Auguste also went smoothly, although it certainly raised some questions.
Questions?
I was able to identify the components that give the substance its fragrance, but I also noticed an abnormal trace of elemental energy in the sample.
Elemental energy?
Would that have an effect on the body?
Hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking, like mixing a single drop of perfume into the ocean. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years to even detect the traces present in the sample.
Goodness.
Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have any effect, even if you use the product every day for 10 years. As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy present in the sample or some other component of the perfume, it's still too early to say.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. Did Tainari come and find you? Maybe we could ask him to take a look.
I received a message from him last night, but I haven't heard anything since. The message said he was looking into some information at the academia.
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by to see you first. Excuse me? Is Miss Emilie here?
Hi, caller.
Oh, perfect! Familiar faces! Traveler, Paimon, you're here too!
Kale. Ah, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned you many times. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Anyways, no need for formalities. Emilie is just fine.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you too, Miss, Emily. Did Tainari send you here, Kale? Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night, and still haven't had a chance to rest. I'm fast on my feet, so it only made sense for me to come and give you an update. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, they believe there's no indication that a researcher by the name of Vijava ever passed through the academia.
Could it have been an alias?
Master considered that possibility as well, but the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to track down people with a similar research direction or background, but also couldn't find a match. How is that possible?
Maybe her identity as a researcher from Sumeru was a ruse.
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out her true identity, I'm afraid another conversation with those two merchants might be our only...
Hey! Lucian!
That voice, it's...
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Curio came back, do you?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel just now, we would have seen them.
Let's go check. And there's always the possibility that they, like, snuck in through a window or something.
It's locked?
Try and break it open. Hiya! The door gives way with a bang and you enter the room.
There's no one here.
Lucian! Lucian!
Into the other room.
That's Sylvain.
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Wake up!
Oh no. Is he gonna be okay?
Emilie, my brother, he's gonna be okay, right? He's just unconscious. Like what happened to Edgar.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain, but we were too late this time.
Oh no!
No, that's not possible.
This truly is a Fontanian quest. Murder mystery and everything.
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through a huge shock. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take him next door? It's not good for him to look at his brother's body like this.
I don't think that would be good for anybody.
Leave it to me.
I'll notify the sheriff.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, let's get you up. Here, take my hand. Nice and slow.
Nice and easy. You're gonna be fine.
We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Yeah, I know.
Poor guy. He's like a shell of his former self. He may have made some bad decisions in life, but right now, Paimon can't help but feel sorry for him.
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is equally painful. All the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship and triumph they endured together, are now memories he has to carry alone.
Maybe that's what Kiria wanted.
If Kiria really was behind this, then what exactly did he do to Lucian?
Lucian can no longer speak, but the traces left behind by his death most certainly can. Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene. I'll leave you to contact the sheriff.
Yes, ma'am. Some time passes, and the sheriff
Who would have
rushes to the
thought?
scene.
Yesterday's case is still up in the air, and now this happens. Miss Emily, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor. Have you been able to discover anything?
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I just happen to have some relevant knowledge. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and rigidity of the body, it appears the time of death was sometime last night. I'd have to do a more thorough investigation to find out more.
Then, would you mind helping us investigate? Before he left, Tainari said we could trust your judgment if something like this were to happen.
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind at the scene will fade with time, so the sooner we investigate, the better.
We'll help too. We don't know much about dead bodies, but you can leave the other clues to us.
Oh, hello. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Alright, let's look at the luggage. Bag is stuffed with clothes and other daily necessities. It's quite heavy. Excuse me. Cabinet. Space inside the cabinet is divided into various compartments. Doesn't look like a person could hide in there. Incense. The incense rising slowly into the air. It seems familiar somehow. Door. The door leads to the hallway. The lock is intact and there are no signs of damage. The door was probably locked last night.
The windows are shut tight too. Seems like the only way to get in would have been through Sylvain's room.
Flowers. Corners are filled with flowers from different nations. The fragrance is incredibly strong.
Well, looks like we've investigated as much as we can. Let's go report back to...
We are reporting back.
So, did you find anything?
There are no signs of forced entries. The only way in would have been through Sylvain's room.
I can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
Oh, whole ass diagram.
But entering through the room next door without alerting Sylvain... Wait, you don't think Sylvain could have been the one who...
Possibly.
No, his reaction to the loss of his brother seemed genuine, and he doesn't have a motive.
Then what could have happened last night? I know Sylvain is still in shock, but he's our only available witness. We have to take his statement.
I agree. Also, I've made some new discoveries, so we might as well head next door and go through everything together.
Ooh, exciting. Enter Sylvain's room. Let's go. He looks much calmer.
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon. Did you see or hear anything strange?
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were incredibly careful.
Get the mouse out of the middle of your face.
We returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors leading to the hallway. The only door we kept unlocked was the one connecting our rooms. That way, if we heard any commotion coming from the other room, we could help each other. But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this morning, opened the door, and Lucien was...
So, no movement from the room next door. No forced entry via Sylvain's room.
Have been
No signs of a struggle at the scene. And no external injury on Lucien's
Via
body.
the incense burner.
What kind of cause of death are we dealing with here?
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated and his skin was flushed, very similar to Master's symptoms after the attack yesterday. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything. The more plausible explanation is that he inhaled a substance without knowing it, and I'd say that substance was likely a ghost.
I did say the incense burner.
No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And anyway, it would have been for just one night.
So you're saying prolonged exposure is dangerous?
No, that's not what I meant. Emilie, you ran your tests, didn't you? Go on. Tell everyone whether you found any poison.
No, I didn't find any common toxins.
That's the word.
A goose
That's
is
the important
harmless.
word. Common
The
toxins.
market response proved that years ago.
Common toxins.
That may be true for most people, but not for everyone.
Hey, Edgar. You were back up on your feet. Hooray!
Master!
Edgar? You're up and about already?
Thanks to Emilie, I'm out of the woods for now. Sylvain, no matter how hard you may try to hide it, the truth will always come to light.
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another 10 or 20 years, do you think Kyria would just let us be? No, he would never give up. Not if he's doing all of this for Yelena.
Yelena?
That's Vijava's real name. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from Snezhnaya.
Of course.
Fatus?
The Fatui. Well, that means the elemental energy present in Auguste was...
Ah, so you've already detected it.
Fucking...
Well, Sylvain,
delusion.
looks like there's truly no reason to hide things now.
Oh.
The Auguste flower was created with the mutative and distorting power of a
I remembered the
delusion.
name of the thing.
A delusion?
Great job.
The Fatui...
Great job, me.
delusions. I never would have thought Auguste was hiding this many secrets.
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental energy. A prolonged exposure over many years could have a harmful effect on the body.
That's enough, Edgar. I'll take it from here. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining the perfume and the flower. But no one knew how long the perfume mania
I was going to say,
going to
Yelena
last
sounded
back
a lot
then.
like a
It
Snezhnayan
didn't have
name.
any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we postponed going to market was another day of lost earning potential.
So you just
So you
jumped
decided
in.
poisoning people was worth the risk?
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about Auguste
It's
being
not like it was
harmful
good
over
for
time,
business.
Yelena was just speculating. The impact was practically negligible. Unless you were
Oh, yeah,
particularly
I'm
sensitive
sure.
to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like Edgar. You could use the product for decades and be completely fine.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poisoning in Fontaine. But even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product to market despite explicit knowledge of its harmful effects is still a serious crime.
The divine and noble Auguste originated from a delusion. If the truth came out, the market for your product would be destroyed.
That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kyria's involvement a secret all this time. despite readily confessing to all your financial crimes. The Fatui, delusions, a Goost. If the Marishase Phantom discovered the connection between the three, there would have been enough evidence to send you to the Fortress of Maripede for life.
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would have been more than happy to stay there. At least that way, Lucian would still be alive. All these years without any sign of Kyria, and he pops up out of nowhere the minute my brother and I get out of prison? It couldn't be any clearer who the kid's after. A Goost was harmless before. The fact that it's killing people all of a sudden must be his doing as well.
So there's bad blood between
Hello
them.
again.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too? A way to
Going
destroy
fairly well.
evidence?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point.
Murder mystery.
We took care to disguise the products circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Marishase Phantom decided to look into the flower beds, it would have been the end. Yelena's ties to the Fatui, the role of the delusion, everything would have been exposed. Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it. She burned all her flower beds and threw herself into the fire as well.
But if her goal was to destroy evidence, there would have been no reason to do that to herself.
Yep.
Yeah, she could have just burned the
Just
flower
the one
beds
more.
and fled with her brother.
And then I've got to get the average viewers up.
Time, but it wasn't until just now that I finally understood her reasoning. Everything she did, it was for her brother, Kyria. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body due to her excessive use of a delusion. She didn't want her brother to follow in her footsteps after her death. After arriving in Fontaine, Yelena continued using the delusion to cultivate the Auguste flower, weakening her body even further. There were times when she couldn't even walk.
So she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid of holding him back.
Dear.
If her true identity was exposed, she and her brother would face pressure from both Snezhnaya and Fontaine. The Auguste flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion. So, in the end, she burnt it all to ash, including herself. With all the evidence erased, Kyria was free to take the Mora and run.
Which obviously
So
he
the
didn't
wealth you earned from a
fully
Goost,
do,
it wasn't destroyed in the fire. Yelena gave it to her brother?
considering.
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened to her, she was going to leave everything to her brother.
Literally
I just
everything,
didn't
apparently.
realize she meant our cut as well. That's why Lucian and I were searching for
Okay.
Kyria, to take back our Mora and the Auguste flower. We just didn't realize Kyria was baiting us the whole time. It was all a trap.
But why is Kyria out for revenge anyway? Doesn't he know about Yelena's decision to sacrifice herself?
Alright.
I don't think he knew his sister
Follower
was
goal
nearing
reached. Hooray.
Yelena always wore makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance. She kept herself busy with work to keep out of sight. That way her brother wouldn't notice how she could barely walk.
One step closer to affiliate. Now I just gotta get my average viewers up.
Then all we'll need to do is tell Kyria what really happened, and then he'll give up on his revenge. I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. He might think Yelena was forced into using a delusion to cultivate a goose. Or something like that.
Average viewers of 3 for...
It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred. Especially when you've been living in that headspace
And
for
I think
so
my
many
average
years.
is...
Very true. Even if Yelena's
hovering.
death was her own choice, I wouldn't call myself innocent
Somewhere
either.
around 2.5.
Edgar, what are you talking about?
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume mania all those years ago, do you think Yelena would have elected to take those risks? If we hadn't been so blinded by greed, so insistent on increasing the scale of the flower cultivation, do you think Yelena's health would have deteriorated as fast as it did? If we hadn't invited the Marechaussee Phantom to our doorstep by breaking the law at every turn, Yelena could have survived.
She knew her limits. She knew her days were numbered. Maybe it was for her brother, but she was in it for the Mora just as much as us. We were just trying to earn a bit of Mora.
Hey.
And what, we deserve to die for that? Target
That
me
sounds
for
amazing,
being
but
the
you
mastermind,
don't have
sure.
to.
But what about Lucien? He was just following my orders. Lucien's crime, was it really so extreme that he had to pay for it with his life?
Like, no one has to do anything for me. I have my own
The
friends
only
that...
person that can answer that question is a judge.
Usually on the Wednesday and Friday streams, but I have my own friends that watch the stream. I'm just trying to get to affiliate so I can start making money because I don't have a job. Not for lack of trying. But...
Fine. I've said my piece anyway. Drag me back to Fontaine to stand trial. I don't care.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya, and a crime committed in Port Ormos. What a headache.
Yay, international law, isn't it fun? What's going to happen?
Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. I'm guessing we'll have to contact Fontaine as well. In any case, we won't really know anything until tomorrow. With the exhibition, we don't even have space in Port Ormos to detain anyone.
Oof.
Such a headache.
Yike.
The
Chaos.
hotel could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain and myself.
And yourself. Yes. You're part of this, buddy.
Although with Sylvain's mental state and my physical one, I don't think you need to worry about a jailbreak.
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain
It's
is
always...
to stand trial, then I deserve the same fate. A crime is a crime, accomplice or not. I'd just like to take care of a few things before I go. Say goodbye to my plants and all that. As for Sylvain, I'm sure he also has some goodbyes of his own.
I appreciate people like offering to make me overlays and whatever and emotes, but I'm an artist myself. I can handle the art. I can handle art and stuff. I'm not looking for anything right now. So I don't do emotes and stuff as commissions, but I'm an artist myself. I can make my own, I promise.
Would you be willing to grant that request, Sheriff?
Well, all right. I'll talk to the Academia.
Okay, I've gotta
No matter who you were
mess
in
with some
Fontaine or
bots
what
after
crimes you
this.
committed.
Apparently.
The man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request is granted.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
But if we wait until tomorrow, doesn't that mean something could still happen tonight?
Happen tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility that Kiria might try to finish what he started?
Yeah, all we know is that he uses a goose to poison people, but we still have no idea how to catch him in the act. If he targets Sylvain or Edgar again, we might not be able to stop him.
Well,
that may